Welcome, Santa Fe Public School Athletics family. We're happy to get into our third episode of the Santa Fe Public School Athletics podcast. Today we have a legend in Santa Fe, Aaron Abeyta, Santa Fe Public School graduate, athlete, and Sports Primo owner. Pretty excited to have you on board, Aaron. Welcome.
Thanks for the kind words, Nick. You know how to hype me up.
Always.
For sure. But I'll just add to that I'm also a Santa Fe Public Schools teacher, former coach, and also both my kids went through Santa Fe Public Schools K through 12. So I'm very proud of all that right there.
Thank you for adding that in there, and that's why you're a legend, Aaron, because you have done a lot and you're continuing to do stuff here in Santa Fe. It's awesome.
I appreciate it, man.
You're awesome. Well, I'd like to jump into a couple questions, let you answer some stuff, let the fans know the man behind the voice that they hear during sports broadcasts.
All right.
You've been running Sports Primo for how many years now?
Well, Sports Primo, I think we started in 2017, I believe, December of 2014. Okay, December of 2014. We got our researcher here telling us. So, that's Sports Primo, and then I've been a broadcaster on the radio since 2005. So it's been a long time, man. It's gone by very quickly. It's been a absolute blast to do all of it. Like, it's something I didn't plan on doing. Got to thank my brother for that, for asking me to come on board and starting that radio broadcast stuff. And then Sports Primo just kind of happened. It organically, I think it gelled. My brother, my cousins, myself, we all just got on board, and here we are, man, just like that.
And having fun.
Oh.
Like, man, every time I hear you guys, you're always having fun. When I'm around for games, it's just fun to be around you guys. It's like us growing up. It feels the same as when we were growing up.
Well, yeah, that's kind of where it started, right? Like, broadcasting, like doing play-by-play for Tech Mobile.
Yep.
In our living rooms, and that's kind of where we started that play-by-play stuff. And here we are today. So I do call the games just kind of like that. And I got to give a big shout out to like Dick Vitale. He was a big influence on the way I call the games. I think he was exciting to listen to, and he didn't care about showing emotions and all that. And I don't either. I can't help it. Yep. It's just who I am when it comes to high school sports, especially the high schools here in Santa Fe. Like, I grew up here. I went to school at Capitol High School. I taught a lot of these students that I'm broadcasting the games for. So I've got skin in the game, for lack of a better word. I am emotionally attached to these games, to these kids, to their families, and so when they do good, I feel proud. I feel happy, and when there's a loss, a defeat, I feel bad. I empathize with that. I'm right there with them. So it's been just something I've never dreamt that we'd be able to do, and for this long too. So it's been awesome.
I agree. It's been awesome, and it's a great example for our student athletes right now to see homegrown heroes, basically helping them become successful in life and showing them successful paths. They can follow and emulate what you did and know that path to success if this is something they want to do, or in anything they want to do, right? Like
that's right. I talk to my students about that, where they ask me about Sports Primo and stuff, and I tell them, like, I found something that I enjoy doing, something that didn't feel like work.
Yep.
And it's a blessing. And some of it is luck, but it's just like you do something good enough, you put your effort, you put your best at something, and usually you'll pay some dividends. W'll get something out of it. When we started this, it wasn't something that we thought that would build into what it was. It was just, we were just having fun. It was an opportunity to go to the game. It was an opportunity to hang out with family too.
Yes. Yep.
Right, to hang out with Amado, to hang out with my brother. Otherwise, I'm not sure how much we would see each other because of our schedules, because of our lives outside of it. And so that was also something that kind of happened, is that we have road trips to games that we laugh all the way over there, talking about stuff, about our history with each other, our past. So I tell my kids that, find something you're good at.
Yep.
find something you're good at and put yourself into it, and that's what life can be.
Yes,
Right?
it can be enjoyable.
That's what it can be.
You know, they say the world is your oyster. You have to figure out a way to make it your oyster, right? Because the world can be many different things.
It can be exactly, and sometimes things don't work out the way you think it will, but those are learning opportunities.
100%.
I think more than losses. That's what I used to tell my team, is that a loss is a learning opportunity for us to get better, and so I tell my students that as well. If they don't get something on a grade, I kind of create. Not to pay attention to the grade, but to pay attention to the process, right? This is a learning opportunity. What can you do better? What did you do well? What can you do better? Right? What can you do to improve? And so that's a lesson, I think, when running a business, running your life, being a student, being a coach, whatever.
I love it. I love how you're tying everything together in the classroom with what you do with Sports Primo. Not just being an example for people to see, but showing them and tying it together. Because all those lessons you're teaching in the classroom, that's what's helped you get where you're at right now. You know, family obviously and everything that's around, but doing those things, your own advice that you're giving them steps to success.
With school the way it is now with students. Oftentimes, I teach New Mexico history. They often every year I'll get the question, well, how's this going to help me in life? How is learning about Oñate going to help me get a job and all? And I start right from the beginning that why you're in school, it's to learn how to learn.
Yes.
It's to learn how to think, right? Like this stuff might not help you get a job, but learning how to learn this stuff will help you get a job. Learning how to think on your own, learning how to research on your own, learning how to critically think, that will get you somewhere in life. It'll enrich your life. And then, before you know it, on the way, they start knowing New Mexico history, they start seeing their city differently.
Yes.
They start seeing all the little stories that are at the plaza, and that happens on the way. And before you know it, they're excited about it. They're like, I got kids that are coming to me saying, hey, guess where I'm going this weekend, Mr. Abeyta? I'm going to Fort Sumner to see Billy the Kid's grave.
Oh, awesome.
Like, dude, that's awesome, man. So that's kind of the start, learning how to learn, learning how to think, and then eventually it's like your life becomes richer because you know things that you didn't know before.
Yep. And knowledge is power, whether it's power helping you accomplish something or knowing where you're from, because that's important.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, that's something also that a lot of the families, the students, they have families that have been here for centuries.
Yes.
And they'll come and tell me like, hey, I'm related to this person, Mr. Abeyta. My grandfather told me this, or I found out that I'm from San Ildefonso Pueblo, right?
Yep.
Like and so those are the types of things that make it all worthwhile, right? When it becomes something more than just a grade, becomes part of their life.
That's how you get them to learn it.
Right.
That's how you get them to learn it.
You got to relate to them.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
And kind of shifting gears a little bit, the teaching part you're very passionate about. I don't think a lot of people know that side of it, especially the ones who hear the broadcasts and they know of the Baron with sports, and some of them even know the ball head back in the Capitol High School days.
That's way back lower there.
I'm
man.
reaching way back.
Yeah, you've got to know me from way back to know the ball head.
Yep.
Since you bring it up, I guess just to give the audience that background.
Yep.
So
The Bleacher
Creatures, freshman at Capitol High School, right? It was the first year Capitol High School was open, 1988 to 89. I was a freshman the very first year, and I was a big college basketball fan. I loved I still love college basketball. And so I would actually record games. I have hundreds of games from the 90s and 80s in my garage on VHS. And I love the crowds. I love the being at the pit, of course, and then just seeing the crowds, the Cameron Crazies, the Zoo Crew, and all these different crowds. So I did not make the basketball team at Capitol High School. I got cut, and when I was walking into this building, this is the building that I got cut in. This is where they told me. This is where they told me that I was the last. It was between me. It was me and 2 other guys for 1 spot. And they told me that they wanted me to be the manager, but I didn't want to do that. But anyway, that's besides the point.
Yep.
But I wanted a lot of my friends were on the team still. Buddy was on the team, Ovi Hill, Rick Padilla. They were all my friends. And so I still wanted to be part of the team. I still wanted to support those guys. So I started to do what I knew how to do. I knew how to run a crowd. I knew how to start the chants and stuff. So I cut out a basketball.
Yep, I remember.
And I painted it like black and silver, and I cut 2 holes in it. And very, very rudimentary. It was not. I'm not an artist. I'm not a craftsman by any means.
I thought it was awesome. I was young looking at it. I thought it was awesome.
Well, I couldn't believe how it took off. Like, it was just this really, really rushed, bad ball head that I cut, and I put it on. And lo and behold, I wore it for when Capital High School, I think they played Albuquerque Academy, and Academy was like ranked #1, and the New Mexican took a picture of us in the paper. The crowd. Like, I'm not sure I've seen that in years where the crowd was in the paper, not the game, but they actually, and I have the clip still and it said, the photographer asked us like who we were, and we gave him our names, and I said, we're the bleacher creatures.
Yep.
It's like, we're the worst nightmare for opposing teams, and they put that underneath the photograph, and I'm wearing the ball head in that photograph. And then all of a sudden, it was like people were asking me about it. They wanted to touch the ball head and all this stuff. I'm just like, okay.
It's awesome.
So that's the story. That's the story.
I never knew how it started. I only knew about it. And you guys obviously a little older than I was.
Yeah.
And I would see it at games when we go because crowds were just different at that time. But the bleacher creatures have always had like a place in my heart. Obviously, seeing family out there and friends just rocking and rolling. And getting the crowd hype, man, like there was nothing like that.
Oh, the atmosphere was amazing for those Capital High School games, and we went through all 4 years just being that way. Like
walking out to Phil Collins with the lights,
that's right,
dimmed down,
that's
and
right.
I just can't. Those are burnt into my mind as memories that I just never forget.
It's so cool that it's still part of it too. Like they come out to Welcome to the Jungle. We named it the Jungle. Like my class named it. We had a sign that said Welcome to the Jungle in that photograph that they took in the paper. It said Welcome to the Jungle. And then I remember our principal, I think it was Mr. Senna. We had an assembly and he said, I saw a sign that said Welcome to the Jungle. We were all in the gym. He said, so we're gonna name this officially the Jungle.
Awesome.
And so we went crazy because we didn't know it at the time, but we were setting a tradition because we were the first 4-year class that went through Capital High School. And so, it's cool to see those traditions still there.
Yeah, even football comes out. They have Welcome to the Jungle going still.
That's right.
I didn't even know that's where it originated
That's
from.
where it came
awesome.
from. Yeah, that's where it came from. So, yeah, it's always cool to see. It's, that's part of like growing up and staying in your community, right?
Yes.
Like, it was such a privilege to raise my kids here and to just stay in Santa Fe and be able to contribute to it. I taught some of my friends' kids.
Yep.
I'm at that age now where I'm teaching some of my students' kids. Believe it or not.
Oh, I hear it. I hear it.
So that's been an honor, and to just be in my community and see all that go through. There was a time there that I didn't pay attention to high school basketball here. I was living in California. I was kind of doing another thing. I got married. And then when I came back, that's what radio broadcasting did. I was able to get back into something that I missed, and I didn't even know I was missing it.
Yep.
Right? I didn't even know I was missing it. But then just going to the games every day, and then when there's a great, like right from the start, we had great seasons to cover.
Yeah.
Capitol High basketball, my goodness, in the early 2000s, an absolute powerhouse.
Yeah.
Shout out to Coach Gomez, man.
Yep. Early years
like
were.
We got to do the pit. I'll never forget broadcasting our first games at the pit. It was a dream come true, a dream I didn't know I had. But walking down that ramp and then sitting courtside calling a Capital High School basketball game, my goodness. And Santa Fe High made it to the state tournament, the Final Four that year too. They played Hobbs, beat Hobbs in the pit. and then eventually lost to Manzano in the semifinals. Like covering those games, wow. I was sold. This is it. I'm doing this.
Dreams coming true that you didn't even know you had.
I didn't even know I had them, right? To be able to do that. And it's funny, like back in the day too, I used to record our football games. Carl Twibel was doing the football games, and I would record them I'd have my dad record them. And so those tapes are there somewhere. I still remember when we beat Socorro on a last-second field goal. They were ranked, I believe, third, and we were ranked seventh. And they came to Capital, and we beat them on a last-second field goal. Nate Segura hit the field goal. And I was actually in there. I was a sophomore. I was on special teams. That's where everybody starts.
Yep, we all start on special teams.
Right? I remember they had this big guy on me. He was like 6'5", big Socorro dude. And James Perlman was next to me. Shout out to Pearl. He's the coach. He's a coach at Capital High School now too. And he was to the right of me, and I was like, Pearl, you got to help me with this guy. He's like, all right. Well, he had to take on two guys, and so this guy came at me, and I went low, and he fell on me, and I remember looking up and seeing the ball go through the goalposts, and we had just beat the number 3 team in the state, and I was like, wow, this is awesome. I was on the field for it.
and you did a key, as a sophomore, you had a key part in that no one gives the credit. The Hogs down on the line and the trenches, that's where it's won.
The special teams, man.
Yep. And special teams.
Coach Ludke used to say they're a third of the game.
Coach Ludke, I have not heard that name in a long time.
He said special teams is a third of the game. Gentlemen, you're supposed to know that. He'd always rile us up with that. And then he did. It kept us dialed in. Like it made us feel like we were part of the team. What we did was important. There was no detail missed.
And that beat the number 3 team in the state. If he didn't do that, a lot of people don't take it serious, and a lot of athletes, for some reason, look down on it. And it's like you make a career doing special teams.
You can make a career. You can make memories,
Yep.
just like I shared, and like we were talking about it. Sometimes athletes want to start at the top. They want to start at the very beginning, but like when you're in a program, you got to find your niche. You got to find what's going to contribute. You got to find what is your role on the team. That's something I would teach my kids when I was coaching. Like pull aside a guy and I'd be like, listen, I've got 5 other guys that can shoot threes.
Yep.
It's like, I don't need you to shoot a 3. You know what I need you to do? If you want to get on the floor, you know what you got to do? You got to play defense and you got to rebound.
100%.
That's what you got to do. And that right there would embolden this guy. He doesn't have to shoot like these great shooters, but if he rebounds and defends, he'll be just as meaningful part of the team. He might not get the headlines, but he's going to be a meaningful part of the team. And I think that's something that a lot of student athletes need to understand. Like even practice players are an important part of the team. And when you become a practice player, a good one, that's when you start to get playing time. I mean, again, that's kind of what happened to myself as well, getting on special teams first. I stood out in a practice, and Coach Ludke told me, he's like, you're going to get on special teams. And I guess my face dropped, and he was like, yeah, son, you're going to get on the field. So
that's a great message. That's a great message, because nowadays it's easy to join a club team. It's easy to get on an AAU team. Everyone plays. Everyone, you kind of get that false sense of security in a position or doing being able to shoot or do something. When it comes to high school sports, that's the beautiful thing about it. And middle school, it takes a team to win.
Absolutely.
And I think I love club. I love AAU. I'll put that out there because I think it's necessary for reps. High school coach can't be with them all the time, and players need to develop. And you get that time there. And a little freedom where it's not so strict. You get to just play ball. But when it comes to high school sports, you said it best. Like, you have to find what you can do to help the team, or else teams don't succeed. And I don't know, as an AD, as a coach for over 20 years, a lot of times, and I get it, parents, they have to have the best outlook for their athlete. But I don't think they always understand a coach is for that entire team. And a coach makes decisions that is going to hurt someone because you only have 5 spots on the floor for basketball. You only have 9 for baseball. You only have 11 for football on each side of the ball, and then special teams. Like, sometimes players are going to be doing something that they're not comfortable with, but that they are good at and they can actually do to help the team. And I think that's a good message that parents need to know. Like, when it comes to high school sports, it's the memories, it's having fun, giving all you have for that your buddy next to you, the blood, sweat, and tears that you have on the field or in practice. Those are the memories you remember. And winning. I think sometimes now we get too caught up on my name on a wall for Athlete of the Year, my name in the paper, my but that's not what it's all about. It really is about that family, that team, moving forward, winning games, and there's nothing like it. I only got to win district titles when I was in high school, placed in state in wrestling, and did a couple things, but I remember the district titles, and I remember the team achievements that we had that were just, we did it together.
That's right.
And we still have a bond where Matt Reland helped my baseball team the entire time I was at Capital coaching baseball. He'd come talk to our football players. He was always a go-to. I played semi-pro football with, I don't know why I did that, but I played that with Matt Seguda and Freddie, and a lot of us still see each other and
well, I think you answered your own question why you did it, so you can hang out with
so you can hang out with
and
your
still
friends.
play football with the guys you played with. Like, you wanted that feeling still,
and you crave that. I craved that in the military. That's what made the military easy for me, like wanting to stay and do over 20 years. It was sports, and just it reminds you of family, like the times growing up and you're telling stories and cuentos and just like having fun and doing broadcasts, playing Tecmo Bowl. It's that family and those memories that you get. And I just want to take sports back to that time. And I love the highlights. I love the All-Stars. But in Santa Fe Public School Athletics, as the AD, and now talking to you, it's really hit me hard. I just want us to get back to that team, that family. How do we do it? The parents behind you, pasta parties before football games the night before.
That's right.
And everyone together getting ready for that game the next day, and then the next day coming out and playing. And you didn't even have to get along with everyone.
Yeah.
But on the field, it was the world closed. Like Coach Moon would say, nothing else matters outside this field.
That's right.
The world stops everywhere else. All that matters is you guys working together, playing together, and getting after it.
That's right.
And there's nothing like that. Like that feeling, I to this day, I still look for that feeling.
Yeah, it's about being part of something larger than yourself.
Exactly.
Right? And having a goal that's not guaranteed. Right? And as a matter of fact, there's a lot of times where you're a team and like it's an uphill climb. You know that it's going to be tough. You're going to be facing competition that's way above your head, but you do it anyway, right? Like you roll that rock up the hill knowing that it's going to come back down. But what does that build? It builds character. It builds camaraderie. And it's a life lesson in that you can put yourself into everything, and sometimes it won't work out.
Yep.
But then what's the important part? It was that you put yourself into something that was larger than yourself. It's the process.
Enjoying the
right?
process while you're in it.
One of my highlights of my broadcasting career is when we got to interview Coach Weir. He was the UNM basketball coach at the time. I think it was after his first year, so it was after his first year. He had a really good first year. They didn't make the NCAA, but he if you remember, he came into a program that was really bad. It was after Coach Neal, and he brought in a bunch of new players, and they played hard, and they won a lot more than they lost, and really surprised a lot of people. So Coach Weir had reached out, I think it was to Will Weber. Will Weber set this up, and he said, "Hey, do you guys want to interview Coach Weir?" I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Like, people that know me, I'm a UNM Lobo basketball. Like, they're my top tier people. Like that team right there, they're mine. That's my they're the top of the pyramid for me. So Coach Weir calls me and he says, where do you guys want to do it? I was like, wherever you want, Coach. He's like, why don't you come to the pit? So we drive to the pit, the parking lot. It's completely empty. He drives up next to us, and he says, hey, guys, how you doing? Introduce ourselves. And first time we'd met him in person, and he says, well, come on in, and opens up the pit for us. For anybody that grows up playing ball in New Mexico knows what a big deal this is, right?
Yes,
This is like hallowed ground, man. This
is.
This is Notre Dame for you and for basketball in New Mexico, right? Yep. So we walk in there, and he's like, sets up the table for us on the court. We did it at the Davalos Center. It was just us and him, and an amazing moment. I'll never forget it. So nice. There was no sports information director. There was no handler. It was just us and him. And I'll do a little postscript about that in a minute. Anyway, the reason why I bring it up is because I asked him about culture. I asked him a lot of leadership questions because he had at the time, an alternative, a unique perspective on it. And I talked to him about goals. What were the goals for the next year? And he says, you know what? We don't talk a lot about goals. It's like, we don't talk a lot about goals here. We talk about process. We talk about step one. We talk about what can we do today? And we don't have a goal at the end of it. A lot of coaches would, and they have their own way. One thing about being a coach and a teacher, I think, and a human being is just being who you are, genuine. Yes. And if you're a goal-oriented person, then you make that work. But this is an alternative perspective that he had to get his team beyond thinking about the goal and thinking about the present. What can you do now at your best? Details, 100% effort. Like, what's today going to be about? And I thought that I took a lot from that, right? Because there's a lot of times where you can put yourself into something and you can have these expectations and it doesn't work out. Jack Kerouac says you didn't sign a contract with life. Yeah. You know what I mean? If you do this, you get this. Yeah. No.
Nothing's guaranteed.
And so high school sports teaches you that too sometimes, that things don't always work out. Everybody has so many different experiences with high school sports. Some really great, some not so great, and then everything in the middle, right? So what are you going to get out of that? Why didn't it work out, right? What was it with me? What were my expectations? Sometimes there's things out of your control. Sometimes there's things in your control. The things you worry about, that people should worry about, is what's in your control.
100%.
Right? So getting back to the postscript, though, with Coach Weir. So that we did that interview. The next year, we want to do it again. All right? This is after his second year. Second year didn't go too well. It went okay, but it didn't go as well. And we set it up for him, but this time we had to go through the sports information director, right? Yep. This time there was hurdles. This time, what are you going to talk to him about? What are you going to ask him? Like all these things, and we're like, well, just about the season and stuff. So then we get there. It's the day of he's finishing up his basketball camp, his youth basketball camp at the pit, and it's the day Anthony Mathis told him he wasn't coming back to UNM, and so the SID pulls me aside. He says, don't ask him about Mathis. He just found out. I was like, okay. I was like, all right. So this time it was my brother and myself, and I think Amado was in there, but it was in his office, and there was 2 or 3 other people in there, right? And it was a completely different, it was atmosphere and back and forth. It was still really cool, but it was just different. He now had handlers.
Yep.
Right? And so that first interview where something spontaneous and organic happened, like those are things that are really precious to me.
Yes. Yeah, because it's original. It's not scripted. It's not written out. Yep,
right.
100%.
So anyway.
Dang. Well, thank you for sharing that with us, man. Like that you've been doing it for a long time. And that special memory, anyone who loves the Lobos like we do.
We do. We're still waiting.
Yeah.
We're still waiting for them to get to the Sweet 16 at least. Like my daughter was telling me about, what if they ever get to the Final Four, Dad? I was like, I don't know what else. I don't know what else to do with my life after that.
my kids,
It's all downhill from there.
my kids went to UNM so they could be Lobos because I didn't go to UNM. I say I might get a second master's from UNM just so I could be a Lobo because that's how much I love UNM.
Right.
Like,
It's part of who we are, man.
we grew up like listening to them play on the radio. I remember begging to watch games to stay up late because they were on late at night.
Your dad took me to my first Lobo games. You know that?
No, I didn't.
Yep.
That is
I went to
awesome.
my first Lobo game with your dad.
No, I didn't know that.
he
My
took-
dad didn't tell me that.
He took Buddy and I. It was an NIT game. They played, I believe it was Oregon State. And so you didn't need season tickets for it or anything at the time. This must have been like 87, 86, somewhere around
dang.
there.
Yep.
He took me to my first Lobo game.
That's awesome.
It was awesome. And then, of course, another memory I have with your dad is when the Lobos finally made the NCAA tournament for the first time in years, it was Dave Bliss that brought him in, and they had Luke Longley. I think he was a senior. We watched the game at your dad's house. They played Oklahoma State, and your dad is a diehard Lobo
Yes,
fan, man.
he is. Yes, he is. Shout out to my dad.
He was pacing back and forth, and he was yelling at the TV like they were. I think they were like the 12th seed or something, and they were playing this Oklahoma State team. They didn't have a chance, but anyway, we thought they did.
And we always think they have a chance.
Of course.
So you're saying there's
That's
a
right.
chance. As long
There's
as
a
you get there,
Hey,
that's all that matters.
You get on the floor,
There's always a chance.
right? There's
Yep.
always a chance, man.
100%.
Always. So
That is awesome. Baron, this has been fun. This has been fun.
yeah, man, this is awesome. Thanks for having me.
We're
man.
definitely going to do this again because, like, this is just like hanging out. And dang, man, I learned a few things today. Like, I always look up to you guys because I still, to this day, still learn from you guys.
Thanks, Nick. Thanks, bro.
I appreciate everything you do for our city. Just proud to see where you guys are, where Sports Primo is at, and the dedication you put into when you were coaching at Milagro and Capshaw, it was, right?
Yeah.
And teaching, because it takes a special breed to be able to teach for a long time, because it's tough. Those are some of the thankless jobs that are out there. Appreciate everything, Baron.
Thank you so much, man.
Now that we're kind of closing up, is there anything you want to leave? I kind of jumped in there and started talking my piece of, like, as an AD, what we're looking for, but what as a community member who gives so much back, what do you want to see from Santa Fe Public School athletics and athletes? Like, what we're partnering with Sports Primo.
Yeah.
So you guys are going to be acknowledging our athletes for each sport every month. It's going to be pretty cool what we're doing. So every sport will have an athlete of the month throughout Santa Fe Public Schools at the high school level, at least. We're going to try to work something out for the middle schools. But we're going to try to get as much recognition and let the community know about our student athletes who are just doing an awesome job. So we're thankful for that partnership that we're going to be working on, and it's going to be great for all of our athletes across the district. But what do you have to leave to them that, because you're going to be meeting a lot more now, because this is going to be a lot of athletes that we're going to be running through. So what message do you have for them?
Well, my message I guess would be the same thing I would have to my teams when I was a coach. Like, we're here to have fun.
Yep.
And play hard. Right?
Yes, sir.
Those are the two simple things that I always tell my kids. Have fun and play hard. Don't worry so much about the results. When you win, be humble.
Yes.
When you lose, learn from it and move on. Like, don't find reasons to blame anyone else. Like, I hope that establish those relationships with it, build a culture. Like, we put a lot of responsibility on the coaches to build a culture, and as we should.
Yep.
They're the leaders. But also the athletes and the parents need to be willing to participate in that culture.
Yes.
Be willing to be positive forces in that culture. And I know it's difficult, but remember, these are just 4 years that these high school kids have to make these memories and to have fun. And I've seen a lot of kids get burnt out. Seen a lot of kids that were really good athletes in middle school, and I come across them at the high school games. I'm like, how come you're not playing?
Yes.
It's like, well, they have all these different excuses, and it's like afterwards, they regret it, I think. They regret it. So just have fun. Play hard. You be the culture that you want it to be, right? You establish that culture that you want to be part of.
Coaches teach leaders because they're the leader of the team, right? Mentor those students to be leaders, and then allow them, show them what culture should be the example, and then athletes make that culture. Because
That's
the
right.
athletes make the culture, right?
They do. They're the ones that are out there like doing it every day, the way they treat each other, the way they treat the adults, the way they treat the other team. That's it. And then just, remain humble and grateful.
Yes.
Humility and grateful. I preach that all throughout the year in my class. Be humble, be grateful, right? Because nothing is guaranteed. So those are two things. And then there's one more thing I just want to say.
Oh, yes. Please do.
I want the student sections to come out.
Yes.
Let's start that. Let's get these kids. I don't want to see them on their phones sitting back at games. I want them involved.
Yes.
All right? Let's get involved out there. All right? Because you're part of the culture too.
Yes,
There's
you are.
There's nothing like going to a game with a great student section. So students, even if you're not participating in the sport, be a part of it.
100%. Students, you now hear the message from a legend to me, and you're gonna see legends that come on this show from Santa Fe Public Schools, because that's what I believe, and this is one right here. So let's answer that call. Let's answer that call and have some great student sections this year. We have some community partnerships I'll jump into that. We're gonna acknowledge some community partners throughout the season. Anyone who's interested in becoming a community partner, please reach out. You can reach out to us. Email me for right now, nisalazar@sfps.k12.nm.us. That's a mouthful, but nisalazar@sfps.k12.nm.us. Reach out to me. We'll get you involved. We can acknowledge some of these athletes with your business, sponsoring certain events or SFPS as a whole. We have some great partnerships where we'll advertise for you, and we'll get some really good time for our students to be acknowledged. And we'll also be providing travel gear, paying for hotels, paying more money to allow them to eat when they're on the road.
That's
helping them.
important.
Yes. We need to feed our athletes, that's for sure. So we're looking forward to this community partnership that we started up this month. Sports Primo is going to be in there acknowledging our athletes every season, once a month with each sport. It's going to be awesome. But again, I want to jump back. Thank you, Aaron, for coming out here. Appreciate your time and just everything you're doing, man.
Thank you so much, Nick.
Just keep rocking.
Right on, brother. Love you too, man.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Santa Fe Public School athletics community. Let's get those bleachers filled with fans and have some new bleacher creatures at Santa Fe High and Capitol.